Welcome to this live chat facility tutorial. We have had a lot of questions recently about the chat facility and how to use it, so let's get into the video. The chat facility is built with students in mind, with a tool that doesn't need to be parent or teacher led. Each of our pages are linked to the person behind the broadcast, even after it's finished, so you can always ask your questions and get a response about the broadcast. So, let's have a look at how to use the chat facility. To use the chat facility, the first thing to do is to type your comment or question into the chat box. You can now enter your screen name. Your screen name will show when you type your question or comment. Now you will see the chat facility ask for your email address. As I mentioned before, each of our pages are linked to people from the organisation who can reply to your questions. You can enter your email address, which will not be shared with anyone, to get a direct response from the people behind the broadcast. If you do not want a direct response, then click the button at the bottom. People behind the broadcast can still respond to you if you don't provide your email address. This just means you may have to come back to the page to check the response. To type your question, simply click on the chat box. You will then see two symbols appear. The @ symbol will mean your comment or question will be posted publicly for others to see. The email symbol means your comment or question can be sent directly to the person of your choice from the list that will appear. You can now speak to the people behind the broadcast and ask any questions you may have, or check out our partner pages to see the companies we work with who you can speak to right now about their current vacancies. You can also check out our careers page, which connects you to employers. Our live chat service is linked 24/7 to employers from a wide range of sectors, all waiting to hear from you. You can leave a question about how to produce a professional CV or how to prepare for interviews, anything work related, and one of our businesses will respond to you directly. You can also access a wide variety of live interactive broadcasts and video on demand with the live chat support on all pages. Now, this bit is for the parents, guardians, and teachers. The best bit about the live chat facility is that it is completely moderated, so you don't need to worry if your young person leaves a silly comment, as it will only show on their screen and no one else's. Another great thing about the chat facility is that it is GDPR protected, so no information is shared with anyone else. We will protect all email addresses and will never share personal information of the young people. If you have any questions about the chat facility or the Learn Live channel, please use the email us icon at the top of the page. Thank you, stay safe and stay tuned.
Hello and welcome to the Learn Live channel and to today's Safe and Sound broadcast. Safe and Sound is a project set up by Staffordshire Fire and Rescue Service with the aim to support communities to make informed and positive lifestyle choices, improving their health, safety and well-being with some safety tips and tricks. The project runs a variety of interactive and practical workshops for people of all ages and is delivered by multiple partners and agencies, such as Road Safety Education Team, Staffordshire County Council, Staffordshire Safer Roads Partnership and Tamworth Borough Council. But first, before we begin, Please remember that if you have any questions, please use the live chat next to the video player. If you leave a question on the chat, one of our speakers will get back to you as soon as possible. So now, I'll be handing over the rest of the broadcast to Hannah Boast. Hannah works as a Road Safety Education Officer from Staffordshire County Council. She and the other road safety education officers in the team deliver road safety education and training to schools of all phases across Staffordshire and Stoke-on-Trent. Hannah will be hosting the rest of this Safe and Sound broadcast. So, over to you, Hannah.
Hello everyone, welcome to Safe and Sound on Learn Live. It is a pleasure to be with you all today. I am Hannah Boast from the Staffordshire Safer Roads Partnership, and I wanted to see you all today for a very specific reason, and that is because it's Road Safety Week. I would like you all to join me in taking action on road safety, and hopefully today's clips will support you in doing so no matter what mode of transport you use. Every one of you can do something to reduce the amount of injuries or even deaths on the roads. Road safety should always be at the forefront of your mind, however you are travelling. And today is just a reminder of what you should be doing every day to keep yourselves and others safe. This week we have, in no particular order, Tamworth Borough Council, Staffordshire Safer Roads Partnership and Staffordshire County Council. As usual, I will be asking you a question after each topic, and hopefully you or your teachers can enter your answer in the live text area of the screen, together with your school's name, please. Answers will be at the end of the programme. So let's get started. First up, we have Lisa talking about mobile phones and road safety.
Welcome to Road Safety and Mobile Phones, brought to you by the Staffordshire Safer Roads Partnership. Every year, road traffic collisions cause more deaths amongst the 10 to 16-year-olds than any other type of accident. Did you know that the peak age for being hurt as a pedestrian is 12 years of age? We would like you to think about what you can do to stay safe in your local area. It would be great if you could practice your key skills, which we know as the Green Cross Code. It's good to focus your attention on what's around you when you're nearby or crossing roads. Check driveways for moving vehicles. Remember, electric cars we can see but not hear very well. Try and use safe crossing points. Plan a safe route. Google can help you there. And if you're out in the dark hours, remember to be bright and to be seen. Lastly, don't take risks. It's just not worth it. So why do we need to concentrate? If you don't concentrate, things just may start to go wrong. See what happens to this lady. She is using her mobile phone whilst walking.
Then she gets out and all awkwardly walks away.
Oh my god. Play it back, do it again.
Oh, I gotta show
And
you.
she just leaves.
I gotta show you the other angle.
I love this.
4:20 today.
Oh my god, that was today?
Yep.
So there she goes. And
Was there water? Is there water in there too?
Oh yeah, it's cool.
She gets out. Like, look at that guy dying in the corner. He just saw her and called it. Where'd she go? Where does she go?
She goes here and talks and then walks out. Pedro from housekeeping's like, "Are you all right?"
Is that what you expected to see? Yes, this might have been funny, but if she hadn't been in the shopping centre, it could have been a lot more dangerous. What if she'd been by a busy road, or perhaps a canal or river? Have you ever walked into a lamppost? Lampposts don't always have bumper pads on them like the ones you can see in the picture. It might be a good idea if they did, though. We know it's very hard to concentrate on two things at once and make a good job of both tasks. Okay, so here's a task for you. What we would like you to do is to listen to the conversation between the two boys, but at the same time read the text message that will come up on the screen one letter at a time.
Who is it?
It's just Ash.
Oh, do you hear about his brother?
No.
Oh, I passed his test 2 weeks ago, right?
Alright.
Maybe a couple of days ago, he gets banned for drinking and driving. He gets 12 months ban, right? He's got to serve 80 hours for community service, and then he's got to pay 160 quid for a fine.
What an idiot.
I know, right?
That's why insurance is so high.
Oh,
Those idiots of cars.
it's so costly, it's unreal.
So what's it like on a moped then, on your moped?
Oh, just on Twist and Go 50cc, about 800 quid. It's terrible.
It's really expensive. It's about £2 on my uncle's car.
Let's see how much you managed to remember. Okay, who was the message from? It was Ash. Can you recall the whole text message? It was, "Hey up mate, just on way back from cinema, still up for footy at 6, TB, which means text back. Can you remember what Ash's brother had done 2 weeks ago? Hopefully you remembered that he passed his test. Why did he receive a 12-month driving ban? That's right, he was drink driving. But can you remember how much the fine was? It was £160. How many of you put £800? What vehicle costs £800 to insure? It was a 50cc motorcycle. How did you do? It's not easy, is it? When we're out and about, we want the drivers to concentrate on their journey, but the drivers also need us to concentrate too. So what can we do to stay safe? The best thing is heads up, phones down, and concentrate on our journey. Thank you for listening and stay safe.
Thank you, Lisa. The question is, can you remember what the peak age for being hurt is? Now we are going to go over to Ryan talking about cyclists and how they must be bright to be seen.
Hi, it's Ryan Propsagam from Active Travel Staffs.
I want to talk to you about being safe in the winter months as the nights get longer and the days get shorter, so you get reduced visibility. Also, you get fog and snow in the winter, which can also reduce visibility further. So we're going to talk about being bright and being seen.
If you're walking or cycling to or from school, going to the shop or out for exercise this winter, it is important to make sure you wear something bright and something reflective as it gets dark. If carrying a bag, choose one that is reflective with high visibility strips, or use a cover to make your normal bag reflective and bright. Wear accessories such as reflective armbands, LED lights, and stickers to help make you more visible. Look at the difference between these two people. Which one is more easily visible? Cyclists need to think about a few more things to ensure that they're more visible to other road users, especially people driving vehicles. Make sure you have 2 working lights, front and rear, and always carry some spare ones as backup, as batteries and lights can fail. Did you know it is the law that you must have front and rear lights fitted to your bicycle if riding in dark conditions? Think about where you're riding your bike. Plan your route to try and stick to the bright, well-lit streets and where possible with less traffic. You should also try and use cycle lanes if possible, as they are usually traffic-free. If you're riding on the road, make sure you're riding at least 1 metre from the curb, as it ensures that you're much more visible to traffic. If you ride close to the curb, drivers may think you're on the pavement and give you less room. Make sure you regularly check around you to keep yourself as safe and aware as possible. If turning, make sure you give clear signals to other road users so they can see what you're planning to do. Finally, make sure your bike is always in good riding condition by doing an ABC check before every ride. We covered this in an earlier video. Check your lights regularly and keep them charged up, or make sure the batteries have enough power. Make sure you have enough layers on you to keep you warm enough during the cold winter months.
Okay, that's it for this time. Thanks very much for listening. I hope you learned some really important lessons. We certainly had a lot of fun filming in this weather. See you next time.
Thank you, Ryan. The question is it the law that cyclists must have lights fitted when riding in the dark? And now we have Louise, who will give a clear explanation of seatbelt safety and demonstrate how to wear them correctly.
When you're travelling in a car, for example, you know that the car is moving because you can see things going past the windows. It's harder sometimes to remember that your body is actually moving and you're moving at the same speed as the car. So if you see your speedometer in your car measuring 40 miles an hour, what speed are you travelling at? What speed is your body travelling at? You might want to answer that on the chat. If the car stops suddenly, for example, if it crashes or if the driver has to brake very hard, the driver and the passengers in the car will move forward until something stops them. So in effect, they'll be catapulted forward. Wearing a seatbelt means you only move forward a little bit and you stay sitting in your seat. But if you're not wearing a seatbelt, you will continue to travel forward at the same speed the car was travelling at until something stops you, and that can result in you being hurt. So we're going to put our beanbag family in their car now. Take the roof off. Put our adults in the front. Remember, they're forgetful, so they're forgetting to put their seatbelts on. Put their arms and legs in. And our child in the back. Put it back down. In a vehicle you travel in, you would have a driver and the car would have an engine and some type of fuel to make it move. But we create movement by sending the car down the ramp. When it reaches the bottom of the ramp, that it's going to stop very suddenly. It's going to crash into some foam at the bottom. Let's put the car up at the top to start with. We can hold it in place. Before we send it down, I'd like you to think about the people sitting here in the car and make a prediction as to what you think is going to happen when the car stops very suddenly at the bottom. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So we take the lid off and have a look at where our family have ended up. All three have moved forward off their seats. They've all been catapulted forward. The front two adults have ended up in the footwell, and the child who's in the back has ended up being thrown forward between the two seats. If these were real people, they would have been very badly hurt, or even worse. Our beanbag family have had some road safety lessons and they now know the importance of wearing seatbelts in the car. So I've already attached them on because it's quite fiddly. Their seatbelts are elastic, but they go across their body in the same way yours would. So across their shoulder, across their hips, and they're fastened by a little peg here. So they're all now safely wearing their seatbelts, and we'll do a demonstration. Got the car held at the top of the ramp and we'll do a countdown. Join in if you want. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's have a look more closely what happened to them. We take the roof off. You might have seen in the slow-mo that their heads and their arms certainly moved forward, but we can see now that they've all stayed sitting in their seats. And if we compare this to the demonstration we did without seatbelts, when they were all thrown forwards and ended up in the footwell and being thrown into each other, it's very different. They'd be much safer travelling like this. Whilst wearing a seatbelt doesn't mean you would walk away from a crash without any injury at all, the chances are any injury would be far less severe if you were wearing your seatbelt. Seatbelts, though, have to be worn properly. So we're going to go out to a real car and have a look to make sure that you understand how to wear them. Now we're in the car, let's look at how the seatbelt should fit you properly. So the seatbelt should be tight with no slack. It should sit across your hips, not over your tummy. It should sit on your shoulder and not up near your neck. And the belt should have nothing trapping it, so it should move smoothly. There are some very important facts to remember though. First one is this. 135 centimetres. If you are over 135 centimetres tall, then the law says it's fine for you to use an adult seatbelt on its own. The second fact is this one: 12 years old. If you are over 12, then the law says it's fine to use an adult belt on its own. All of you in years 5 and 6 are under 12 years of age, and many of you will be under 135 centimetres. So for the belt to fit you properly, you have to use something else, a child car seat. We're going to have a look at one of those now. This type of car seat makes sure that the adult seat belt fits you properly. So you can see how the adult belt fits through these red sections here, so that the seatbelt will fit you across your shoulder and over your hips. This type of seat also provides you with some side protection. So if the car you were in was involved in a crash and it was hit from the side, this would help to keep you that bit safer as well. It's actually really easy to remember to put your seatbelt on whenever you get into a car, if you make it the first thing you do as soon as you get in.
Thank you, Louise. The question is, what age or height must you be to use an adult seatbelt on its own? And now we are going to go over to Andrew talking about pedestrians staying safe in winter.
Good morning, it's Andrew Smith, Tamworth Borough Council. Hope you're all staying safe and well. You had a nice bonfire night, if any of you did anything for that and stayed safe. Today we're talking about, it's a special one all about road safety, and my particular section is going to be about keeping safe on the roads or as a pedestrian in the winter weather. Okay, because sometimes when certain weather types occur in the winter or autumn or even spring, it can be quite hazardous, isn't it, for us? And we need just to make sure that we been sensible and crossing roads safely and what to look for. Okay, now there's 3 types of weather I'm going to really concentrate on. Obviously rain, that can happen at any time, and we're not going to be particularly talking about that today, but sometimes in the winter or the autumn or spring we do get snow, obviously. We also get icy weather, and we also get foggy weather as well. And all those 3 types of weather can be hazardous sometimes to us all when we're trying to cross the road. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. I've got a little video right at the end as well. That's slightly different. That's going to be about the dark night, because obviously it's dark nights now as we're heading into autumn and winter. And sometimes there's some rules that you need to be aware of about road safety to do with the darker nights, which we'll be talking about as well. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to put 2 pictures on the screen. One is of a street. There are different streets. So one is of a street in the middle of a bad winter weather, and another one is of a street on a nice sunny day. Now, just have a quick look at these 2 pictures, and this is how different roads and areas can be in different types of weather. And just want to have a look at the 2 pictures and see if you can spot why, or discuss, you can put it in the live chat, why you think the winter picture might be more hazardous for people to use that road. Just have a quick look at that. So hopefully you've had a good look at those pictures. And if you look at the pictures, there is really a big difference. And you imagine you were walking in one of those pictures, okay, one of them when it was really sunny and one of them when it was really snowy and icy. And there's a lot of different hazards, isn't there? In the sunny picture, you can see clearly. It looks like a normal sunny day. You can see clearly. You can see everything around you, which is really, really helpful. The paths will be normal, no extra hazards on there generally. And you can just see, can't you? You can see backwards and forwards for quite a long way. You can clearly see where the road is. On the picture where it's snowy, obviously that's different. The visibility is a lot worse. You can't see as easy. You can see a couple of cars on that picture, and they've even had to put the lights on, even though it's in the day. You can't 100% tell where the road starts and ends. There could be some ice around. You don't quite know how deep the snow is. There's lots of little hazards there that could make walking and trying to cross that road or even on the path a lot more tricky. So winter weather can be a lot more hazardous, okay, than on a nice sunny day. So now let's just talk about the different types of weather and how you can walk on the pavements and cross a road safely. Okay. First of all, obviously, like any crossing of the road, if you can find a safe place to cross, that's obviously the best thing, isn't it? So try and find a zebra crossing or a pelican pedestrian crossing if there is one available. Obviously, they're the safest places to cross. If not, obviously you need to find a safe place to cross in terms of where you can see both ways clearly, okay? Where there's no traffic coming, you need to make sure, and you need to make sure you stop, look and listen. And while you're crossing, look both ways, okay? Don't cross near a bend, a roundabout, anything like that, a hill where you can't see properly, okay? So you still need to look for a safe place to cross. That makes no difference, even if it's the summer or the winter, okay? Let's have a look at the snow first. So I've got some pictures on here. So obviously when it's snowing, the visibility is a lot worse, isn't it? So you need to make sure, obviously, like with any winter weather, that you have the correct outfit on, okay? So you're wrapped up well. Often it's very useful to have bright colours on, particularly if the visibility is bad, so that cars and other pedestrians can see you. Okay, you need to have the correct walking boots on, okay, if the snow is particularly deep, or boots or shoes with a good grip on them, okay, because you might not be able to see any of the ice properly, okay. So that's really, really important. Again, look for a zebra crossing, look for a pedestrian crossing, or somewhere where it's as clear as possible as you can. Never attempt to run across the road like you wouldn't normally, especially in snow and ice, because it could be really dangerous. It could be really, really slippy, and it make it a lot easier for you to fall over. The problem as well with the snow, particularly if it's quite deep, you can't always tell, okay, where the road starts and ends. So you need to be extra, extra careful and only cross the road, say, if you can find a safe place or there is no traffic coming, okay. That is absolutely really, really important. Okay, now with fog, so I've got pictures of fog now. That's another very dangerous one. The paths and things may be clear in terms of no snow and ice, but with fog, you really can't see what's coming, okay, can you? And the visibility can be really quite poor. Okay, so again, what you need to do is, if you can, find a safe place to cross a zebra crossing or pedestrian crossing. But again, if that's not possible, you need to find the clearest place possible to cross on a straight road, where you can at least see both ways and hear what's coming, okay? And then when you feel it is safe to cross, and you still look both ways, you walk sensibly, and you be as careful as possible. Okay, it can be done, and hopefully this winter maybe we won't have scenes like this, but we might, and you need to make sure that you're prepared. So wear the correct outfit if you can, have some sensible boots and shoes on that have good grips on. Obviously you need to be wearing warm outfit as well. Okay, that's really, really important. And if possible, particularly if it's late at night, we'll just touch on this at the end, make sure that you have some bright colours, some reflective colours, so that cars and other pedestrians can see you. Still look for a safe place to cross, if possible, pedestrian or zebra crossing. And if not, crossing a safe place where you can see as best as you can both ways, okay? Not near bends, not near hills, not near roundabouts, not behind parked cars, not behind buses or anything like that, where you can see clearly, okay? Because we want you to stay nice and safe. So just to finish off, we're just going to quickly talk about the darker nights, which obviously is now as we head into autumn and winter. And the best thing you can wear when you're out and about, particularly by a road, on a bike, or crossing a road, okay, are bright clothes as possible, okay, maybe some reflective clothes, okay, because then the cars and other pedestrians and the traffic can see you a lot more easier, okay, which is really, really important. If you've got lots of dark clothes on, it makes it a lot harder for people to see you, and you are at risk of being in a bit more of a hazardous situation. Okay, so I'm just going to finish with a very short video now, just about wearing bright clothes, okay, in the darker nights and the darker weather. Okay, hope you enjoyed the video. Stay nice and safe, and I will see you next week.
The girl who didn't dress bright in the dark. She always liked to look her best, so didn't wear a nice bright vest or any clothing that was bright when she was out at nearly night. But traffic couldn't see her, see. And now she isn't so trendy. A car drove right into her guts and covered her with bruisey cuts.
Thank you, Andrew. The question is, what 3 types of weather, more commonly experienced during the winter months, can make crossing the road and travelling more hazardous than usual? Thank you very much to all of our presenters this week. The answers to our questions are: the peak age is 12 years old. Yes, it is the law that lights must be fitted when riding in the dark. And to wear an adult seatbelt, you must be over 135 centimetres or 12 years of age. And finally, the winter weather is snow, ice and fog. So that's it for yet another week. Please visit www.roadsafetyweek.org.uk if you want to find out about how you can get more involved in Road Safety Week. For teachers, road safety resources are available for schools across Staffordshire and Stoke-on-Trent, so please email roadsafetyeducation@staffordshire.gov.uk and your local Road Safety Education Officer can get in touch. Remember, the programme is available on demand on the Learn Live website for you to view and share with others at any time. Thanks to Learn Live for all their hard work putting the programme together, and thank you for watching. See you all again at the same time next week for the next broadcast.
Thank you, Hannah, for hosting this extremely important broadcast today. And, like Hannah said, there'll be more of these broadcasts coming up over the next few weeks. So please, keep watching. I just want to say another thank you to all of the speakers from Road Safety Education Team, Staffordshire County Council, Staffordshire Safer Roads Partnership and Tamworth Borough Council. The tips that have been given today are so important. So, thank you. And, as Hannah said, if you have any questions for our speakers today, please leave them in the live chat next to the video player, where they'll get back to you as soon as possible. That's all from us today. See you this time next week as we have more speakers from Staffordshire Fire and Rescue and their partners and agencies. You won't want to miss it. Bye for now.
Welcome to this live chat facility tutorial. We have had a lot of questions recently about the chat facility and how to use it, so let's get into the video. The chat facility is built with students in mind, with a tool that doesn't need to be parent or teacher led. Each of our pages are linked to the person behind the broadcast, even after it's finished, so you can always ask your questions and get a response about the broadcast. So, let's have a look at how to use the chat facility. To use the chat facility, the first thing to do is to type your comment or question into the chat box. You can now enter your screen name. Your screen name will show when you type your question or comment. Now you will see the chat facility ask for your email address. As I mentioned before, each of our pages are linked to people from the organisation who can reply to your questions. You can enter your email address, which will not be shared with anyone, to get a direct response from the people behind the broadcast. If you do not want a direct response, then click the button at the bottom. People behind the broadcast can still respond to you if you don't provide your email address. This just means you may have to come back to the page to check the response. To type your question, simply click on the chat box. You will then see two symbols appear. The @ symbol will mean your comment or question will be posted publicly for others to see. The email symbol means your comment or question can be sent directly to the person of your choice from the list that will appear. You can now speak to the people behind the broadcast and ask any questions you may have, or check out our partner pages to see the companies we work with who you can speak to right now about their current vacancies. You can also check out our careers page, which connects you to employers. Our live chat service is linked 24/7 to employers from a wide range of sectors, all waiting to hear from you. You can leave a question about how to produce a professional CV or how to prepare for interviews, anything work related, and one of our businesses will respond to you directly. You can also access a wide variety of live interactive broadcasts and video on demand with the live chat support on all pages. Now this bit is for the parents, guardians and teachers. The best bit about the live chat facility is that it is completely moderated, so you don't need to worry if your young person leaves a silly comment, as it will only show on their screen and no one else's. Another great thing about the chat facility is that it is GDPR protected, so no information is shared with anyone else. We will protect all email addresses and will never share personal information of the young people. If you have any questions about the chat facility or the Learn Live channel, please use the email us icon at the top of the page. Thank you, stay safe and stay tuned.
Hello and welcome to the Learn Live channel and to today's Somerset Talented Academies broadcast. The Talented Academies help young people to gain an understanding of different key Somerset employment sectors by providing insights into and connections with a wide range of employers. To help you continue to prepare for your future and discover the career opportunities available to you in Somerset, we will be bringing the world of work to you with a series of broadcasts showcasing Somerset employers working in various industry sectors. This broadcast industry focus will be on construction. This session will help you discover more about the many careers available in construction and decide which pathway is most suited to you. You will be hearing from leading civil engineering and construction contractor Allen Griffiths Limited, one of the UK's leading contractors, Skanska UK, leading independent construction and property service